Look at a photo of the Empire State Building. It was built in 1930. It took 1 year and 45 days to finish. 1 year. Now, look at a local construction project in your city. Maybe a highway ramp or a train station renovation. It has probably been under construction for 5 years. It is probably over budget. And it is probably ugly. We live in the wealthiest, most technologically advanced societies in human history. We have supercomputers in our pockets. We have AI. We have reusable rockets. And yet, if you look around at our actual civilization, our bridges, our grids, our cities, it feels like we are stuck in quicksand. We can't build anything anymore. We can't fix anything anymore. We are paralyzed. Meanwhile, you look at authoritarian regimes, places we are told are backward or evil, and you see them building entire futuristic megacities in the time it takes us to approve a permit for a coffee shop. Why? The standard answer is corruption or bureaucracy, but that's lazy. The real answer is much darker. The real answer is that democracy, for all its moral virtues, has a fatal psychological flaw. It is a system that is biologically wired to consume wealth rather than create it. It creates a civilization of addicts who are forced to eat the seed corn just to survive the next election. To understand why nations fail, you first have to understand the Marshmallow Test. You put a child in a room with one marshmallow. You tell them, if you don't eat this for 15 minutes, I will give you 2 marshmallows. The child who eats it immediately has high time preference. They value the present moment more than the future. They want the dopamine hit now. The child who waits has low time preference. They are willing to suffer in the present to be richer in the future. This is the fundamental psychological difference between poverty and wealth. A poor person spends their paycheck on Friday night because they want the reward now. A rich person invests their paycheck for 10 years because they want a bigger reward later. Civilization itself is just the process of lowering our time preference. We stop hunting and gathering for immediate food and we start farming, waiting months for a harvest. We build houses. We save money. We plan. But here's the catch. We have built a political system that effectively forces the entire population to act like the kid who eats the marshmallow immediately. We have built a system that punishes long-term thinking and rewards short-term looting. And it all comes down to one specific psychological concept: rentership versus ownership. Imagine you live in a house, but you don't own it. You are renting it for exactly 4 years. After 4 years, there is a very high chance you will be kicked out and replaced by someone else. And here is the rule. While you are in the house, you can take whatever you want from the fridge, you can sell the furniture to buy beer, and you can throw wild parties. And the most important rule, you are not responsible for the cleanup. The next tenant has to pay the bill. What are you going to do? Are you going to fix the leaking roof? Are you going to invest $10,000 in a new boiler that will last 20 years? Of course not. You won't be there in 20 years. You won't see the return on that investment. Instead, you are going to strip the copper wiring out of the walls and sell it. You are going to maximize your enjoyment right now. This is the psychological reality of a democratic politician. Presidents and prime ministers are renters. They are temporary caretakers of the state. Their goal is to get re-elected. To get re-elected, they need to make you feel good today. They need to lower taxes today or increase spending today. If they implement a painful fix that saves the country in 20 years, they get 0 credit. In fact, they get fired, and the next guy gets the credit. Now compare this to the psychology of a monarch or an autocrat. Historically, a king is not a renter. He is the owner. The kingdom is his private property. It is his asset. And he intends to pass this asset down to his son. If a king burns down the village to have a party, he is destroying his own net worth. He is destroying his son's inheritance. Therefore, the king has a selfish, greedy incentive to make sure the kingdom is rich, productive, and well-maintained 50 years from now. He has low time preference. This is why monarchies rarely had massive national debts relative to their GDP. Why would a king borrow money that he has to pay back personally? But democracies love debt. Why? Because the politician borrows the money, spends it on you to get your vote, and leaves the bill for your grandchildren. It is the ultimate high-time preference scam. But we can't just blame the politicians. We have to blame the enablers. We have to blame you. The second psychological glitch in democracy is called rational ignorance. Economics can be complicated. To truly understand tax policy, trade deficits, and monetary inflation, you would need to study for hundreds of hours. But your vote counts for exactly the same as the guy who thinks the earth is flat. Your individual vote has a statistical probability of 0 of changing the outcome of an election. So, your brain makes a rational calculation. It says, it is not worth the energy to learn the truth. It is easier to just vote for the guy who tells me a nice story. This creates a marketplace for lies. In a democracy, the politician who tells the truth is biologically destined to lose. Imagine a politician stands on a stage and says, "Folks, the party is over. We are broke. I need to cut your benefits. I need to raise the retirement age, and I need to stop printing money. It will hurt for 10 years, but our children will be free." That man gets 1% of the vote. He is laughed off the stage. Now imagine his opponent. He says, "The other guy hates the poor. I will give you free health care. I will give you free college. I will tax the rich people you hate. We can have it all, right now." That man wins in a landslide. We biologically prefer the sweet lie to the bitter truth. We vote for the candy, and then we act surprised when we get a toothache. This leads us to the final mechanism of poverty, the tragedy of the commons. When something belongs to the public, it effectively belongs to nobody. The public treasury, your tax money, is a giant pile of cash sitting in the middle of the room with no guard. In an autocracy, that pile of cash belongs to the dictator. If you try to steal it, he punishes you. He guards it because it's his. In a democracy, that pile of cash is ours, and because it's ours, everyone rushes to grab a handful before it's gone. This is why we have lobbying. This is why we have special interest groups. It isn't a malfunction of the system. It is the logic of the system. Corporations want bailouts. Old people want pensions. Young people want grants. Everyone is trying to eat the carcass of the state before the other guy eats it. It creates a society of looters, where the most successful people aren't the ones who create value, but the ones who are best at navigating the bureaucracy to get a piece of the pie. Now, before you go out and start a revolution to install a king, we have to look at the downside. Because there is a very good reason we moved away from autocracy. The downside of autocracy is variance. In a democracy, you get the wisdom of the crowd. The crowd is never super smart, but it's rarely super crazy. Democracy cuts off the extremes. You will never have a leader who is a total genius, because geniuses are weird and don't get elected. But you will rarely have a leader who is a total psychopath, because psychopaths usually scare voters away. Democracy is an insurance policy. It guarantees mediocrity, but it protects you from catastrophe. Autocracy is a gamble. It is an all-or-nothing bet. If you get a good dictator, like Lee Kuan Yew in Singapore, you get a miracle. You go from a swamp to a futuristic metropolis in 1 generation because he can make the hard decisions without asking for permission. He can force the country to eat its vegetables. But if you get a bad dictator, like Stalin or Mao, you don't just get high taxes. You get famine. You get genocide. You get total collapse. So the choice isn't between good and bad. The choice is between risk and safety. Democracy buys safety at the price of stagnation. Autocracy buys efficiency at the price of risk. But here is why this matters right now. We are currently living through the end stage of the democratic cycle. We have been renters for too long. We have eaten all the marshmallows. We have voted for the comfortable lie over the hard truth for so many decades that we have forgotten how to build things. We are so obsessed with consensus and process and feelings that we can't pour concrete anymore. The psychological flaw of our system is that it treats the country like a rental car. Drive it hard, crash it, and hope the next guy pays the insurance. The next time you see a pothole that hasn't been fixed in 5 years, don't blame the budget. Blame your brain, blame your time preference, and blame the fact that nobody washes a rental car. See you in the next one.